Hey guys, Disorder Magic here, and it's been a couple videos since I totally took a dump on Wizards, and well, they deserve it this time because on December 4th, they decided to upload a video just titled Inclusion. That's it. Apparently, their web people don't know what keyword importance means, or SEO, or... I mean, if you didn't already get the drift that their web management people don't know what they're doing, then I can't help you at this point, because the evidence is pretty much in everything they do. So apparently at like the last World Tour Stanley Cup Tenkaichi Budokai or whatever the hell they're calling it, whatever the hell just happened last weekend, they filmed some kind of video, and by filmed I mean they coerced a whole bunch of the pros and the teams to say this, or they'd probably kick them out of the event. That's my take on what maybe perhaps happened. So they got a whole bunch of them to do this ridiculous like 36-second montage about how, oh, everybody's included, oh, because this is the world tournament and look how amazingly multicultural we are. We'll ban people from any culture from cheating, just ask Team Ireland. And Wizards really does spread the message pretty often. You know, they make this part of their PR thing that it doesn't matter if you're Irish or Australian or Norwegian or British, you're all white to them. Hell, you could even be Jewish. Guess what? You're still a cis white male to them. White is white. It doesn't matter where you're from. And really, that is just such a wonderful message to get out there to the kids. So I believe the person opening the video is Reed Duke, who is a human garbage pile, which that's really a background of person that you don't find very much. So they're really hitting the diversity buttons with this one. So they had a bunch of people from a bunch of teams say, "Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome." Not like you're welcome in the game. They're not like thanking you. And in fact, they're definitely not thanking you for tuning in to watch the coverage because nobody did. The best thing is a bunch of the languages that they were speaking are not even languages that Wizards prints their products in. If you can't tell, I'm like exaggerating my offense at this video and completely like trumping up the ridiculous hypocrisy that doesn't really exist in anything that I've said so far. But what I do sincerely take issue with is the fact that they are lying. Not everyone is welcome in the Magic the Gathering community or at their events. They have made that very clear. Now let's start with the whole, the guy who got convicted of, I'm not going to say because I don't want this to get demonetized, but something bad, and then got out of prison and started playing Magic and then went to the tournament. They're like, oh, nope, sorry, that's not good enough for us. The U.S. justice system isn't good enough for us. We don't want you here. But okay, convicted felons. I mean, who wants them anywhere, honestly? I'll give them that one. I thought it was a little much, but I could at least see where they're coming from on that. And that's up to their discretion. I mean, I'm not going to say whether they made the right or wrong decision there. It's very gray area. Even I'm on the fence with it. But he's not welcome at their tournaments. Oh, people who have stolen prize money and been caught cheating multiple times and banned from the game multiple times, they're welcome at the tournament, though. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on that jerk. So maybe that's what they're talking about, inclusiveness. So pretty much every Wizard staff member ever who has a social media has at some point tweeted out something to the effect of, oh yeah, women in Magic, we need to promote women in Magic and minorities and this background and that religion and whatever. And some of them have even gone so far as to say what they really mean, which is we need less white people playing Magic and less men, because it's implied that if you want more women playing Magic, that you want less men. I mean, I'm sure as a business standpoint, they just want more people, period. They'd love to keep the amount of men that they have and add women, but I have heard comments from staff members kind of hinting at the fact that they wish less white males would show up. And some of their little creator buddies and people who on and off work for Wizards of the Coast have made just blatant statements about, oh, white people, white males, straight people, they're what's wrong with the entire universe and they're so terrible and oh my gosh. Just typical SJW crap, because that's the only people that they hire and associate with, which, by the way, I'm fairly certain is illegal in the state where they're based. Here in Wisconsin, you can literally have somebody walk into a job interview and say, are you a Republican or a Democrat? Are you a conservative or not? What religion do you follow? And then not hire them according to their answer. That is 100% legal in Wisconsin. I don't think that's the case in Seattle, Washington. So hopefully they'll get investigated at some point. In fact, if you want to look up the laws and confirm what I'm saying here, that'd be wonderful, because then I might start a campaign to get them investigated by the probably 3 letters something, FTC, FCC, KFC, AT&T, I don't know. If AT&T wants to investigate them, whatever. The more bad things that can happen to their garbage pile of a company, the better. But let's get to my favorite statement of all time, which apparently I didn't bookmark very well, or I'd pull it up right now. The head of their judge program is some frickin' SJW activist piece of garbage. He's some Asian dude who thinks that he's an immigrant because he came here when he was like 1 year old, and apparently that makes him an immigrant. I mean, that's right up there with that lefty idiot who's like, I identify as black, so I just tell people I'm black. She is 100% white. In fact, I think there was one where she wasn't even Native American and she just identified as that. And then she went around acting like a damn victim. Like, just like, oh my God, my people. Oh, it's not your people, you're white. Now, that wasn't Wizards employees in those two cases, but I'd lump all SJWs together because they're all just the same level of stupidity and they all same, echo the same crap and they're just parrots spouting out the same crap that the media tells them. So anyway, this head of the judge program said in a very long statement that they don't want you in the judge program if you are a white male. That is not who they want applying to the judge program because they have enough of them. Now, that is me paraphrasing it based on memory from months ago, but I clearly remember that being the gist of it. So this is what happens when a company is based in Seattle, and I could end the sentence right there, but if you're not familiar, and they want to just pat themselves on the back and sniff their own farts because they're just, oh, look at us, we're so progressive, we're so much more progressive than you. It's like a progressive off. It's like some kind of damn progressive competition. In fact, cancel the next Grand Prix. Don't even play Magic at it. Just everybody shows up, just gets, in a line. They go up to the microphone and they're like, I have 27 friends and every single one of them is trans. 6 of them are disabled. Boom, drop the mic. By the way, I gotta give you a little aside. Wizards doesn't seem to give a flying fuck about representing the disabled. They don't care if you're fat. They don't care if you're elderly. They don't care if you have diabetes. They don't care if you're developmentally disabled. They don't care about anything because those people never show up in any promotional anything. They don't have a dude in a wheelchair, nothing. One of my good friends that plays Pokemon Go in the area, man, he cruises around on a wheelchair. We all love him. He's such a nice guy. Everybody's happy when he shows up to a raid. And with Pokemon Go, I mean, we got old people playing. We got people with their kids. We got young people playing. We got, the cute geeky couples that are like all wearing matching Pikachu stuff. And we're like, oh, geeky couple, so cute. There's like middle-aged people out there walking their dog because they're like, oh, I'm going to walk my dog. Might as well play Pokemon Go. And then there's like, people my age who used to play Pokemon on the Game Boy Color. Then we got like little kids showing up because they're like, oh, I love technology and ARG and I'm such a futurist. We got people cruising around in Audi. We got people cruising around in expensive custom Mustangs. And then we got people showing up in a car where you can see through the doors because the rust got through it. We got people pulling up where you're like, oh my gosh, cross your fingers and start praying when they turn the ignition because you just don't think that thing's gonna get going again. Doesn't matter. We all get together, we talk, we joke, we have fun. It's super inclusive. Nobody asks about somebody's political beliefs. Nobody asks about their background, their ethnicity, their religion. We don't care. Dude shows up the other day speaking Spanish, fluent Spanish, and it was clear that he spoke almost no English, but his kids were like translating for him, and they were like 9, so that was cool. And instead of everybody being like, oh no, language barrier, I'm scared, socially awkward, I just started speaking Spanish to him because I speak pretty good Spanish. I mean, enough to be like, azul está sobre allí. Necesitamos 7 o más para ho'o. And he's like, oh, bien, gracias. Then I found him on the Facebook group later, and I was like, hey man, it was nice meeting you, because like, this is Wisconsin. We don't give a crap. I mean, we got people from like all over the place, every color, background, language, everything, whatever. That's what inclusivity looks like, okay? Not, we don't want white males because there's too many of them and white males are responsible for everything. If you're a white male, you're automatically racist and you're privileged and you get everything and you need to be taken down a peg. Okay? Look at my life. My life is a wonderful example of why being a white male doesn't get you a damn thing. In fact, I missed a whole bunch of scholarships. I basically got the free government one for being broke as shit, and that's it. I'm looking through the list of scholarships provided by my high school, and my God, they got the Native Americans out there. They got if your parents were veterans, if your parents were in the Rotary Club, or this club, or that club, or that. My parents are broke, okay? They weren't in none of them clubs. Are you a single mom? Are you a female? Are you pregnant? Are you an immigrant? Or like, God, I think they even have one for ex-cons. Now keep in mind, I went to college a year early during high school, split my time between them. My high school paid for it as some kind of program because I had a ridiculously high IQ and had near perfect grades in high school, so I qualified. I was always in the gifted and talented programs because, autistic, so I'm really good with patterns and memory and I breezed through school. Didn't even have to study, I just got perfect scores because that's just how my brain is wired. It's wired for learning. And despite massive amounts of social problems when I was younger that required lots of therapy and extra staff at the school, I realized what was wrong with me and worked my way through it, basically. If a goddamn robot named Alexa can learn how to tell me the weather when I talk to it and basically act like a human, I can learn to act like a regular human too. Yes, it was difficult, but guess what? Okay, so I'm like successful, incredibly smart, and disabled. Not one goddamn ounce of assistance when it comes to going to college. So I had to go to some shitty, cheap college, couldn't get any kind of reasonable degree, and because of where I went and the fact that I couldn't afford a 4-year degree, even though I got 2 2-year degrees, nobody would hire me, even though I'm basically the best software programmer for 100 miles. I even got a contract to write some software that was used by ESPN, put it on my resume. They still discriminated against me because I didn't go to a fancy enough college. So I took a programming assessment for a placement contractor, or like to hire placement and a tech contract. It's a long story. I beat almost every single employee in their database worldwide, and I beat everybody in my entire state. They still would not hire me. Some companies came back with some affirmative action BS about how, they're looking for a different type of background, or they have a program for diversity, blah. They aren't going to hire me because I'm a white male. And pretty much everybody was like, we're not even going to look at your resume because it doesn't say 4-year on it, and that's what we put for the requirements. I'm like, yeah, but I'm better at the job than these people. Absolutely ridiculous. The deck was stacked against me since I was born, just based on who my parents were, what color I am, what gender I am, and I'm a white male. So I know somebody from Wizards would turn around and say, oh, but that's how minorities feel all the time. That's funny, because most of the minorities I know in my life are rich and successful. Probably because in Wisconsin, nobody gives a shit what color you are. Nobody makes that a part of the hiring decision. So this problem that they see of, everybody's the same gender and color playing Magic, which is provably false everywhere I've ever played Magic. But like I said, once again, Wisconsin, we have every single background and color and everybody here, and we don't care. That's not even a thing that's on our mind, because just you walk into a place and look, everybody's a different color. Who gives a shit? This isn't New York where everybody gets together. They're in their own little community. They don't mix. They have their own language, their own culture, and then everybody just like fears and discriminates against each other because they all keep to themselves and everybody's purposely different. This is how you don't have an inclusion problem. You stop seeing everything through the lens of gender and race. I mean, just think about it. Everything at Wizards is about gender and race, gender and race, gender and race. Oh, and sexual orientation too, because they won't shut up about that either. Speaking of that, everybody's welcome at the tournaments? Really? You want to hear my thoughts on LGBT issues? You want to hear about my religion? I get the feeling you don't, Wizards, and if I told ya, I feel like maybe I wouldn't be welcome at your tournament because, oh no, you don't agree with me and I don't agree with you. Now, maybe that's not the best example because I don't think they want me at their tournament regardless. I kind of take a dump on them every video, but they deserve it. So no, conservatives, Republicans, they're not welcome at their tournaments at all. I mean, they will be treated poorly, they will be insulted. Some of them might even be told to leave from the stories that I've heard. Don't know if they're true or not, but it sure as hell sounds like something they would do. They have fired writers, they have fired staff members, they have blacklisted content creators for those exact reasons. Just they disagree with them on social or moral or, political views. God, I hope that's illegal in their state. I'm going to go check after this video because there needs to be an investigation and they need to be fined about $1 billion at this point for the sheer number of violations. If I made it class action, it would be the end of their company. They wouldn't have enough money to cover it and Hasbro would just close the branch. So let's get back to this stupid, pointless video. Do you really think it was, hey, we promote diversity. We're trying to tell everybody to promote diversity themselves, and we're spreading the message and helping out society by whatever they feel like they're doing? Was it that? Or, hey, let's make this video because it'll make us look like good people. We can pat ourselves on the back and look how great we are and we can all feel good about ourselves. Well, regardless of what you think, here's what happened in reality. Here's what the actual response was. On YouTube, they turned off comments and ratings. They hid the ratings. It got a mere 5,900 views because nobody cares. They just see some SJW keyword, inclusion, as the title, and people are like, God, I'm so sick of hearing about this. I think even like a super far left person is like, oh my God, Wizards, just shut up about it. We get it. If they pat themselves on the back for being diverse and inclusive any harder, they're actually going to injure themselves. I'm actually worried at this point. And like I said, they sure as hell never show somebody in a wheelchair or somebody autistic or anything in any of their videos. I mean, besides a couple token fat people, there hasn't been a truly actual disabled person in any media I've ever seen that they've ever made in 24 fucking years. And I'm not saying that I can get behind their whole let's parade around one person of every background, color, and gender, and able status, and all this, because that'll make us look awesome. No, that stopped in the 80s when they stopped making commercials about that. Just imagine if you were like some, black female and you want to play Magic, and then you look at Wizards of the Coast, just bullshit that they're spewing on every social media platform, and they're just pandering to you, and constantly their staff members are saying, yes, we need more females. Oh, because females are awesome and they're special and protected. And if they show up to a tournament, we're going to go out of our way to like guard them and make sure nobody says anything to them. And it's like, that is so pandering and demeaning and insulting. I wouldn't even show up if it were me. I would just be like, these people are trying so hard and being so transparent with them just wanting to feel special. It's not even about achieving a result, that I wouldn't want anything to do with them. It in itself is sexist and racist because they just won't shut up about it. I mean, it's like the old debate. I mean, there's equality and then there's the NAACP. Not giving a crap what color somebody is and treating them equally, or, hey, black people need additional assistance because, and then they never fill in the blank. Here, have free college money. Holy crap, is that racist? And it's the same crap that Wizards is doing. But at the end of the day, it's more for show, it's more for PR, and it's more for their own feelings so that they can feel special about themselves than it is about any kind of change or anything at all. It's just a look how progressive we are fest, and that's it. They could care less who actually shows up to their tournament. That's my take on it. Now, they had to turn off the comments and the like ratios and all this crap on the video because they know they're going to receive backlash. Massive backlash. Now, I'm sure if I were to put myself in their shoes, oh, the whole world is racist. We're being trolled. We're being targeted by certain groups and it's not a representation of our customer base. Oh, sorry. It's definitely an actual representation of everybody in the world but you crazy leftist nut jobs. Some people can see right through your BS and they're going to call you out on it. Now, on platforms where they do curate the comments and stuff, but they can't actually turn them off, like Twitter and Facebook, oh my God, you should have seen the backlash for this post. Holy crap, I haven't seen something like that since, like, EA tweeted something. Real, actual pro-equality, pro-inclusion people were just tearing them to pieces. They were saying it's so fake, it's so transparent, it's so pandering, it's so unnecessary, you're going about it all the wrong way. Everybody's like, how about you shut up about this social crap that has nothing to do with your product and fix your product? Release a set that doesn't suck and release cards that don't bend before I even open them. How about that as a starting point? That would make me feel better about the game instead of counting how many minorities show up to F&M. Because honestly, at the end of the day, I don't give a crap who shows up, doesn't matter, and it's not the first thing on my mind. It's just, are these people cool? Are they fun to play with? The end. We already don't have a problem with this, any kind of discrimination or racism at my LGS, so why the hell do I need to hear about this constantly? So people were just destroying them, and at a certain point, if enough people are telling you you're wrong, you might want to think about it. You might want to second guess yourself. When virtually every single comment, once you leave your little Tumblr cave, your little echo chamber, and go out in the real world and try to say something, and then everybody just hits you in the face with a hammer of reality, maybe you need to rethink your whole strategy and what your message is. You know, every former SJW that reformed into a normal upstanding member of society who actually understands how the world works, you know what they always say? I didn't realize how wrong everything I thought was because everybody I hung out with and everybody online and all the groups kept telling me I was right. Once I listened to my haters and I got a certain volume of comments about what I was saying and I started to think, that's a lot of people. Maybe they have a point. That's when stuff started to get real. When instead of listening to what they wanted to hear, they listened to actual society, actual people with actual valid opinions. And don't forget the end-all statement that I drop on every single one of these stupid videos in reply. What the hell does social and political issues have to do with the damn card game? With printing little pieces of paper? It's not cardboard, it's paper, guys. It's cardstock, okay? It's not corrugated. Whoever started calling it cardboard should have been corrected. Now it's out of control. Anyway, they print paper and they design games, and obviously they have been putting way too much effort into social programs than they have into card design, R&D, and quality control. So if you're like, I don't care what a bunch of lefty idiots are spouting off on social media, it doesn't affect me, doesn't affect the game. Well, it does, because they have whole divisions like that are obsessed with inclusiveness and PR and image and, you know, having a float at the gay pride parade and all this bullshit that they're just wasting their money on. They're wasting time, effort, and money, and they're being very particular in who they hire. I mean, there's obviously a litmus test and a social test with who they hire, because look at who they hired. I mean, you don't need much more evidence than that. So instead of the most qualified person, instead of hiring, you know, people who are amazing at probability and math and logic and planning and systems and AI and testing and games, nope, they pretty much just hired whoever's the most LGBT out of all the applicants. And that, my friends, is how you end up with an entire company full of incompetent morons. So fuck you, wizards, get it together, stop posting transparent bullshit like this, stop sniffing your own farts, patting yourself on the back, and just announcing to the whole world about how great you are and how progressive you are. Nobody gives a shit, we're sick of hearing it, especially if we disagree with you. Fix your products, and focus on that, and shut the hell up about everything else. Also buy a shirt, teespring.com/desolatormagic. Oh wait, it's teespring.com/stores/desolator-magic. Just click the damn link.